senses.
Thank you very much.
Om Shripadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutare Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dhamne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisheshmadi Pashyate Testarni Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So in the last chapter, that is the first chapter of Madhurya Kādambinī, we discussed about the nature and glories of bhakti. Now in this chapter, we are going to talk about the different stages of bhakti. But before that, he will also describe about different aspects of sadhana bhakti. Atha atra madhurya kadamanyam dvaita advaita vada vivadayoho na avakashaga labhante iti kaishya tapekshaniyaha chet aishwarya kadamanyam drishyatam nama. So here he is not going to discuss about personal and impersonal philosophy, the difference between them. And that he has discussed in another work called Aishwarya Kādambinī, which is, of course, it's not available right now. There is a work called Aishwarya Kādambinī by Baladeva Vidyabhushan. That's a different work. And there is no discussion about Dvaita or Advaita Vada. But this work of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is not found yet. So if someone is interested, he says he take a look at it. Idanim karana kedarikasu pradur bhavantyaha tasyaha eva bhaktehe. So the bhakti appears in the karana kedarika. So the senses or the heart of the sadhaka. So the senses of the heart of the sadhaka is like a field. And the bhakti appears in that field. Jnana karmadi amishratvena shuddhayaha. So that bhakti is not mixed with jnana or karma. So what does it mean, jnana or karma mixing up with the bhakti? So if we have, when we are performing our bhakti, if we have the idea that I am non-different from the Supreme Lord, in the sense of, he is Brahman and I am also Brahman. So in that way, both of us are non-different. Then that is actually mixing up jnana aspect into the bhakti. So if we perform with that idea, then that is jnana mishra bhakti. That is not a shuddha bhakti. Karma mishra bhakti, on the other hand, if we perform our karma activities, we have nitya karma and naimiti karma. Nitya karma is everyone in this world is supposed to perform daily some karmas described by the Smriti Shastras. And naimitika karma, that is periodical activities like Śraddhā. So nitya karma, daily activities like Panchamahayagya or your Sandhya Vandan, all these are nitya karmas. And then periodic duties are Shraddha ceremony or something else. And then you have kamya karmas, which are like, suppose I want to get a child, I perform some particular sacrifice. So that is kamya karma, that is to fulfill a particular desire. So these are all karmas. A devotee can perform all these things, but if he performs these things with the idea that if I don't perform these things, that I will incur sin, then that is actually mixing up the idea of karma into the bhakti. Then it becomes karma mishra bhakti. It is not shuddha bhakti. But if the devotee performs these activities just to set an example for others, or as an anga of bhakti by introducing elements of bhakti in it, then that's okay. But he still should not have the idea that if I don't perform these things, then I will acquire sin. Of course, if we don't perform bhakti at all, and then we don't perform karma also, then we incur sins. That's a sinful activity. By not performing your karma, you incur sins. But if you perform bhakti, Shuddha bhakti every day, which includes, like for us, it's chanting 16 rounds and reading the bhakti scriptures, then worshipping the deity, for example, then we have the idea that if I don't perform my karma also, that is, doing the Shraddha ceremony or doing your Sandhyavandan and so on, then that becomes a covering of the bhakti. That's called a karma mishra bhakti. Again, you can perform it as part of your devotional service in the sense that instead of doing a Shraddha ceremony, just according to the Smriti Shastra, you can offer bhoga to the Supreme Lord and worship the Supreme Lord and offer the remnants to your pitras or pitas, your forefathers. Then that is, you're benefiting the forefathers by giving them prasad, by giving them bhakti sukriti, rather than you are performing out of fear those karma kanda activities. So that's what the Shuddha Bhakti is. Kalpavalya api nirasta anya phala abhisandithaya eva dhritavrataihi. So this Shuddha Bhakti is like a desire creeper. It's not a desire tree. It hasn't fully manifested, but it's a creeper, small plant. Even though it's a desire creeper, basically desire tree means whatever you ask, it fulfills that. Same with the desire creeper also, the sadhana bhakti you're performing. So that whatever you ask for, that bhakti can also fulfill. I want a good job, you can practice bhakti and get a good job. I want money, you can practice bhakti and you can get money. But Shuddha Bhakti, on the other hand, does not have any of these intentions when you are performing bhakti. Nirasta anya phala abhisandithaya. So the fruitive intentions are rejected in this. Anya other fruitive intentions. That means you still have a desire to achieve, service to the Lord. That's a spiritual desire. But the material desires, they are all rejected. And by rejecting all these material desires, including the desire for liberation, we may still have all these material desires and desire for liberation within us, but we are not performing bhakti to achieve all these things. So that is what nirasta anya phala abhisanditaya eva dhritavrataihi. So by this activity, the devotee becomes fixed up in his vows, vrata. Madhurya iva bhavya janaihi ashriyamanayaha. So the devotees who are fixed up in this vow of not seeking any fruitive results from bhakti, they are like bees. Madhurya means, black bee. So this black bee, what it does, it goes and sits in plant and then collects honey. So similarly, this bhakti lata attracts these bees. Bhavya janaihi ashriyamanayaha. So these are good fortunate people. Swa vishaya eka anukulya mula pranayaha. So for this bhakti lata, there is a prana or the life here. What is that life here of the bhakti lata? That is, in the topics of the Lord, one should have favorable attitude. That means, I like the topics of the Lord. It's not that we hate the topics of the Lord, discussing about the topics of the Lord or worshipping the Lord or anything. We don't hate it. We have to have anukulya, favorable attitude. That becomes the prana of the life of the bhakti lata. If you don't have that, then bhakti lata is not there. The prana is not there. It's a dead plant. Swasparshena sparshamanihi iva karanavrittihi api prakritattvalohatam shanaihi tyajayitva chinmayatva shuddha jambunadatam prapayantyaha. So here, by its own touch, it acts like a sparshamani, which is touchstone. So the nature of the touchstone is, you take a touchstone and then you go and touch that with a iron. The iron changes to gold. That's a touchstone. So similarly, this Bhakti Lata is also acts like a touchstone. And what it does, so when we are performing our sadhana bhakti, we are performing with our material senses, like chanting. I'm using my material mouth, material sound. When I'm speaking, these are all material sound. I'm hearing with my ears, material ear, and I'm thinking the Supreme Lord with my material mind, and I'm worshipping the deity with my material senses. All these are matter. Then how can you touch bhakti, which is actually transcendental? Or how can you worship the Supreme Lord, who is also transcendental with material things? You can do that because this bhakti converts all these material activities, which are like iron, into gold. That is the spiritual activity. So by the touch of devotion, all the material activities are spiritualized to spiritual activity. Chinmayatva Suddha Jambunadatam. So Jambunada is gold. It becomes Chinmaya, full of spirituality. It becomes spiritual activities. Shanaihi Tyajayitva. So it gradually happens. It doesn't happen immediately. Slowly, our material activities are becoming more and more spiritual activities. That's why you go in the higher stages of bhakti, you get immediate great results. The lower stage, we don't get that much results because we don't have that much bhakti. Kandali bhava ante sam udgacchantyaha sadhana abhikhe dve patrike vivriyate. So this bhakti lata sprouts and it rises up and it gives out 2 leaves. Those 2 leaves are the product of sadhana bhakti. So that those 2 leaves are also called the sadhana bhakti. And what are all those 2 leaves? Again, keep in mind, this is not fruit of the bhakti lata. This is a leaf of the bhakti lata. Tayoho prathama kleshagni, dvitiya shubhadha iti. So the first leaf is called kleshagni. Klesha means suffering. Gni comes from the root han, which means destruction. Destruction of the kleshas or the sufferings. That is the first leaf. And the second leaf is Shubhadha. It gives auspicious qualities. So the Bhakti Lata, it first sprouts 2 leaves. Those are the first 2 leaves that comes out of the first result that come out of the Bhakti Lata. One is the Kleshagni, another is the Shubhadha. Dvayoha api tayoha antagatu loba pravartakatva lakshana chaikwanyena eshamaham priya atma shrutahacha ityadi shuddha sambandha snigdhataya cha prapta utkarshe deshe raga namnaha rajnyaya eva adhikaraha. So in both of these leaves, it has 2 parts. If you take any leaf, it has an interior part and an exterior part. So the interior part is a little soft in nature and the exterior part is rough in nature. So this interior part is the desha, how do you say? Is the kingdom of our king called Raga Bhakti, Raga Marga, very soft in nature. And what is the characteristics of Raganuga Bhakti? It has lobha. It is motivated by greed. We will see what is that greed. I'll explain. And because of this, and another characteristic is that it has Shuddha Sambandha Snigdha. That is, you have pure affection for the Lord. And because of that, that part is very glorious in nature. And he quotes a verse to give an example of this Raganuga Bhakti from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is 3:5:38, 3:25:38, 3:25:38. So this verse comes part of discussion between Kapila Dev and Devahuti. And Kapila Dev is talking about Sankhya philosophy, and part of that he also discusses about Bhakti Yoga. And in that Bhakti Yoga, he discusses both Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. So in this Raganuga Bhakti, when he describes, he mentions this verse. na karhi chinmat para shantarupe nangshanti no me nimisho ledhi hetihi eshamaham priya atma sutascha sakha guru suhrudo daivamishtam. So Kapila Devi is saying, Na karhichit mat paraha shantarupe. Oh mother, Shantarupa, not at any time my devotees lose anything, nangshati. They don't lose anything. They don't lose enjoyment at all. No me animishaha ledi hetihi. They are not also destroyed by my weapon of time. The time doesn't affect. Esham, and for them, aham, priya, I am a lover. I am Atma, I am son, I am a friend, I am a guru, I am a well-wisher, I am their Lord. I am their, chosen Lord. So here he describes by saying this the Ragatmika Bhakti. So Raganuga Bhakti is in the sadhana stage. It is not the sadhya stage. It is in the practicing stage. The sadhya stage is what you attain is Ragatmika Bhakti. So in the Ragatmika Bhakti, your relationship with the Supreme Lord is established. You can be a lover to the Supreme Lord, or you can be a son or father to the Supreme Lord, or you can be a friend to the Supreme Lord, or you can be a parent. Guru means elders. You parent to the Supreme Lord, or you can be a suhrit, well-wisher of the Supreme Lord, or you can be a servant of the Supreme Lord by considering the Supreme Lord as your Supreme Lord, or your master. And Atma, you can consider in the Shantarasa. So all these 5 rasas are described here. So that happens in the Raghatmika Bhakti stage. So this is Raghanuga Bhakti. Now, Bhakti tu tasmat bharata sarvatma ityadi shastra pravartakatva lakshana parushya abhasena priyadi shubha sambandha abhavat swataha eva ati snigdhatha anudena purvataha kinchit aprakrushte deshe vaidhanamnaha parasya ragnaha. So the bahi, the external part of that leaf, that is which is rough in nature. Why it is very rough in nature? Because this bhakti is not induced by greed. This bhakti is induced by Shastra. The Shastra says, why am I chanting 16 rounds? Because the Shastra says, or the Guru says, not because I am doing out of greed, but because of instructions. Why I am worshipping the deity? Because of the instructions I'm supposed to do. I have taken vows. These are my inducer, making me do all these bhakti activities. And that's why it's rough in nature. Priyadi Shubha, Shuddha Sambandha Abhavat. It does not have all this relationship, the Lord is my lover, Lord is my son, Lord is my friend, and so on. And Shuddha Sambandha Abhava, it is not there. Swataha eva ati snigdhata anudena. By its own, on its own, we don't get too much attachment to the Lord. Anudaya, it doesn't arise in the Vaidhi Bhakti. Because of these things, Purvataha kinchit aprakrushte deshe. So because of these things, this Vaidhi Bhakti is considered somewhat inferior to Raganuga Bhakti. Vaidhanamanaha aparasya ragyaha. So this outer part of the leaf is the kingdom of Bhakti called Raganuga Bhakti. Sorry, Vaidhi Bhakti. So again, what is this lobha, greed? So the greed is actually defined in another work by Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, as well as in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This greed is to follow after the Nityasiddhas in the Vraja. In Vraja, you have Yashoda Mai, and you have Nanda Maharaj, you have Radharani and her Sakhis in Madhurya Rasa. In Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, they are in the Vatsalya Rasa. Then you have friends like Shubala or Madhumangal in the Sakyarasa. And then you have Patraka and Raktaka, all these in Dasyarasa. They all consider the Supreme Lord as Krishna as their own intimate person. They don't consider him as God. They consider him as a dearmost person in Vraja. And they try to serve him in different ways. In Madhurya Rasa, Radharani and her Sakhis, they serve him, by interacting with him, by chatting with him, and by giving out glances and all these Madhurya activities. And in Sakyarasa, the friends, Subala and Madhumangal, they joke with him. They play with him in the mood of service. They are out, that naturally comes out. They don't think that I'm doing service. It naturally comes out. And the same with the parents, they take care of the child, they decorate the child, they give bath to the child, and prepare lunch for the child. All these things are part of the Vatsalya Rasa. And then the Dasya Rasa, Raktaka and Paktraka, they think, oh, my master is coming. I need to wash his clothes. I need to take the lunch box, lunch cooked by Yashoda Mai to the forest where they are, tending the cows in the noon time. So all these activities are done by the servants. So if in the sadhana stage, if we have a great desire, greed means it should be like, greed really. It's not a simple desire. If you have a great desire to follow after one of the Nitya-siddhas in the Vraja, in Gokula, we want to have a service similar to them, then that is the lobha. And if we perform all our sadhana bhakti of chanting or deity worship or visiting the dham, sadhu sangha, all these things with that as the cause, then that becomes raganuga bhakti. Okay. If that is not the case, then it is Vaidhi bhakti. Klesha gnatva shubhadha tvabhyam tu prayeha tayohona kaha api visheshaha. Though there is a difference between the Raganuga Bhakti and Vaidhi Bhakti, and Vaidhi Bhakti is considered slightly inferior to the Raganuga Bhakti, the result they produce, which is Kleshagni and Shubhada, destruction of your sufferings and giving auspicious qualities, they give same. There is no difference. Both of these Bhakti give you that result. Tatra avidya asmita raga dvesha abhiniveshaha panchakleshaha. This he is quoting Yoga Sutra 2.3, and then he says, what is the klesha? We talked about klesha agni, destruction of suffering, and shubhada. So he's going to explain what is these auspicious qualities and what is this klesha. The Yoga Sutra says, five kleshas are there, panchaklesha. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. Avidya is mistaking temporary to be permanent, one thing to be another. This whole world is temporary. Any products in this world is temporary. This house I'm living in is temporary. This body I'm living is temporary. But we think, we work with a mentality that is all permanent. I have to secure the house. It is going to be, permanent. Even though we have theoretical knowledge, but when we are practically working, we work with the intention of as if they are all permanent things. So that is avidya. Asmita. Asmita means considering this ahankara. It is considering my body as myself, which means whatever is related to the body are my own things. Whatever is not related to the body are somebody else's. So I don't like this. I like only things that are related to my body, which is my child, my family, my wife, and my husband, my parents, and so on. That is asmita. Raga, attraction for something. I like certain things to be in certain ways. I like this particular taste. I like certain people to behave in the way I like. We have likes. That is attachment. Dvesha, and if other people don't behave in the way I want it, or the taste I like is not present, some sort of sour taste or bitter taste is there, I don't like it. And things when it happens not according to my wish, I don't like it. I hate it. Dvesha. Abhinivesha is a long standing desire, attachment, fear of death. That is not just in this life. It is there life after life after life after life. That is abhinivesha. So all these 5 are actually kleshas. They are suffering. Why? Because the products that come out of these things is going to be pure suffering. Attachment and detachment, not attachment and hatred, avidya, asmita, and abhinivesha. They are going to give us great suffering. And they manifest in the form of prarabdha, aprarabdha, rudha, bija, papadeha, tanmayaha eva. They manifest in the form of sins, in the form of 4 different things: prarabdha, aprarabdha, rudha, bija. So what is prarabdha? The definition is given by Jiva Goswami in 1.1.23 of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Tatra palonmukam prarabdham. That is, whatever is being manifest, that is prarabdha. For example, right now I am sitting in this home in front of my laptop with this body at this particular age. So this is the prarabdha karma. It is already manifest. This is a result of my prarabdha karma. Bija vasana mayam prarabdhatva unmukam iti yavat. So the bija, here it's there, bija. So this is, it is in the form of a seed in my heart, in the form of vasana or desires. It is not manifest yet, but it is going to become prarabdha, my next karma. It's going to manifest. So whatever is manifested in this life until now, that is all prarabdha. Whatever is going to manifest, those in this life, those are bija. So the bija becomes prarabdha as time passes. Then you have kutam bijatva unmukam. So kuta or rudha, here it is given, both are same. So this is going to become bija, not in this life. In this life, you have only prarabdha and bija. So in the next life, this rudha will become the bija. And then aprarabdha palam na prarabdham kutatwadi rupam karyastha avastatvam yena tat. The aprarabdha karmas or unmanifest is like a bank. You have stored it. It has not become prarabdha. It has not become kuta, bija, or prarabdha. It's all just settled in the bank account. And from that bank account, we withdraw, and then it becomes ruda, bija, all these things. Tacha anadi siddham anantam. These karmas are there from without any beginning. Karikayam tut etat eva aprarabdham iti uktam. So I think he's quoting Sankhya Karika. This is all defined in Sankhya Karika as well. So we will stop here. We ran out of time. We'll look at what the Shubha, auspicious qualities, in next, after which he is going to define Śraddhā as well.
Wow, that was so amazing.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji.
Correction, Prabhuji, what's the name of the book, Prabhuji?
This is Madhurya Kādambinī.
Who is the author, Prabhuji?
Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Correction.
So Rajiv, I have just one question, if you don't mind.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So what is the conclusion in terms of performing the karmas? Like, you said Śraddhā and all, a devotee, if he's performing, so the devotee should perform with appropriate consciousness, or he shouldn't perform at all?
So if we don't perform our karmas, what are we going to do in this life? We will be doing probably sinful activities. So it is better if the devotee is, performs either bhakti, or if it is not performing bhakti, then another time he performs regular karmas, but with the intention of that, I'm not performing out of that, I'm going to get sin or something like that. But these are Lord's instructions. I'm doing it with the intention of setting example for others. So in Baldev Vidya Bhushan, in Gita Bhushana, he describes 3 types of devotees: Sannishta, Parinishta, and Nirapeksha. So the Sannishta devotees, they perform all these karmas with the intention that if I don't perform these things, I'll get sins. So they are like karma mishra bhakta, and they gradually grow up, become jnana, and then they achieve finally bhakti. So those are Sannishta bhaktas. And then the Parinishtita, or they also perform karmas, but they perform with the intention of setting example for others. those who are not following bhakti, they should not give up these karmas. They should follow. So I will follow to set an example. And how much our way I'm performing, I'll make it everything bhakti related activity, not just pure karma kanda. And then the nirapeksha is there. They don't care about all these things. Perform only pure bhakti. So I guess he says all three are, devotees in one sense. And the parinishthita and the nirapeksha, they are pure devotees, both of them. The sanishta is not a pure devotee, he is a karma mishra bhakta, but parinishthita and the nirapeksha, both of them are pure devotees.
So that means, although we are on the sanishta state, but we try to act as nirapeksha.
The parinishthita and nirapeksha.
Mm-hmm.
The parinishthita stage, we perform our bhakti, pure bhakti. In the sanishta stage, we don't perform pure bhakti, we perform mixed bhakti. The parinishthita stage, we perform pure bhakti. Along with that, we also perform karmas, just to set an example for other people in the society.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Thank you,
Can you post these 3 names for the 3 different devotees on the group?
Yes, Prabhuji. Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, bro.
Rohit,
I'm sorry, when I jumped into the question, I didn't even follow the code. I don't know if anyone had any questions. I'm sorry, I apologize.
you can do anything.
No.
Rohit,
Rules are for neophytes, Roji, not for advanced devotees like you.
That means I should be following very rigidly those rules.
Prabhuji, I have a question on the Kutam, Prabhu. If you have time, right?
we can take this one question as the last question, yes.
Yeah. Prabhuji, Kutam, basically it doesn't lead to the Bijam or Vasana in this lifetime is what you are saying, right?
Correct.
Oh, okay. How to understand that, Prabhu?
So the Kutam is sometimes you can, some special people, they have the premonition ability. They can look at future things. So when they are looking at this life, future things, they are looking at the bija, which is going to become prarabdha. It's going to manifest, and that's why they're able to see. If it's not fixed, you cannot see that. Because it is fixed, you are able to see that, what's going to happen. And it's reflected in your chart as well, astrology chart. The Kuta, however, it is there. It's going to come in the next life. And that's why some people can actually premonition what's going to happen in next life as well, but not beyond that. Because the Kuta is also, becoming the bija continuously. So that way we can understand, it's going to come in the next life.
I was of conception that some of the kutas may lead to bijam and then action in this life also. I just want to understand some more details of it.
So, in this life, there is only 2 things. Whatever is manifested, whatever is unmanifested, the karmas, right? Until now, my karmas, until, my 35 years of old, the karma has manifested for me. And whatever my body is remaining at this point, that is a result of my prarabdha karmas. But there are rest of my life, it is not manifest. My death is not manifest. My old age is not manifest. Suppose old age starts at 50 plus or 60 plus, whatever it is. So it has not manifest. So those are bija, whatever is not manifest in this life. Whatever is going to come in next life, those are called kuta. And when you take the next life, the kuta becomes the bija. And the bija becomes the prarabdha as the time passes on you in your next life.
Yes, bro. So suppose if you take the case of Ajamila fall down, so it's considered already a vasana. It's not, there is no kuta involved there, right?
Ajamila's fall down, those are, you have also kriyamana karma. Everything is not just fixed. Kriyamana karma is what you are currently performing. If I go to job and do my activity, I get tomorrow money. If I don't go, I don't get money. This is not just the prarabdha or bija. It is also kriyamana karma. I am also performing right now some karma. So the same question asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj in Mahabharata, he asks, is it whatever the results we achieve, is it only because of the fixed karma or is it by our own endeavor? So Bhishma Dev says it is a combination of both. So it is a combination of your prarabdha karma as well as your kriyamana karma, your current activities. Combined together, it produces results. Sometimes if your prarabdha karma is so weak, you may not get, you have to work so hard to achieve anything. But if your prarabdha karma is very good, just by putting a little endeavor also, things manifest, fruit. So it's just a combination of both.
Got it, bro. Thank you. That's why when the astrology horoscope is same, so you may not be able to predict what exactly the result. Maybe you can predict to some extent because of
you
Priyamana
can
karma.
get the blueprint. Shankaran Prabhu is here. You can get the blueprint of the whole life, but the details you would be filling up with your Kriyamana karmas as well.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Thank you, devotees.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.